So here's the opinion, you've heard it here first. Moses Itauma will wreck all them old men out of the division.
Can pick whoever he wants to fight, you know, and he deserves to be able to pick whoever he wants to fight. And the only guy that he hasn't fought,
no, you know what? You don't want to rush him. You want to take it easy. You want to take it slow. Don't rush him. Let him enjoy. He's still 20 years old. Let him get to 22, 23 years old. And that's then you start putting him in with the top names in boxing, like the Usyks and like the Wilders or even the Joshuas and the Furies. At the moment, I think you should keep on building him. Let him keep on winning like this.
Tyson Fury goes off on Moses Itauma for calling out Daniel Dubois. Fury's advice shows how tricky it is fighting Dubois on home ground. But it also hints at Dubois being under pressure himself. He was the one called out first, and now has to prove he can handle a fearless young challenger.
He'd knock him out, because I wouldn't say that, because it's in England and, you know, it's on his home show, so just do the best you can, that's it.
Fury highlights Moses as a serious talent with real future potential, even grouping him with other top young names. This kind of praise quietly builds pressure on Dubois because it signals that insiders already see Moses as the new wave coming through, ready to test established fighters.
I think he's a good kid. I've said in the past that I think he can be a champion, and I do think, just like I said with Jared Anderson, I think Jared and Moses are very, very both good fighters. However, there's a lot of temptation. There's a lot of stuff outside of boxing that makes fighters not achieve what they should have done. And it's the same old story. If I woulda, shoulda, coulda. If I didn't get involved with these people, if I didn't go out and drink, if I didn't get involved this, that and the other, then I would have, if I woulda, shoulda, coulda. That's why I can sit here today and say I always wanted to not be a woulda, shoulda, coulda guy. I am the guy who did everything he could. And they're only starting off a career, so if they can stay on the right path and away from all the idiots, away from the women, away from the drunken nights, away from all the cranks, then I believe both of them can go on and win.
McKenzie's remarks highlight a sharp contrast. Dubois is coming off a damaging performance, while Moses keeps stacking wins and building his name. This growing gap in momentum makes any future meeting more intriguing, with the young contender now looking like the one carrying real danger into the ring.
How badly he gets beat down, because what you saw last night with Dubois was a beatdown. You know, everybody's talking about Moses Itauma, and rightly so, because he's beaten everything that's been put in front of him. You know, and he's starting to get a big reputation now. So, you know, we'll just have to wait and see where that one's concerned, I think.
From here, the spotlight shifts to a heavyweight voice comparing Moses's rise to past champions. Tony Bello uses heavyweight history to show just how special Moses could be. Comparing his rise to Tyson's youth speaks volumes, and pointing out only two names he couldn't pick holes in adds weight. That sort of praise also puts indirect pressure on Dubois to justify his own credentials.
It was 20 years and 5 months when he wins the heavyweight championship of the world. Don't take anything away from Moses Itauma. He could have done that to Dillian in the pomp of his career. You know, there's nobody in the world right now, apart from Alexander Usyk, Tyson Fury, who he couldn't pick hold.
Attention now moves to Moses himself, revealing what he really thinks about Dubois. Moses Itauma's words give fans a peek behind the curtain. He hints that Dubois' public image doesn't them. It's literally stars makes fights, doesn't it? And I think Dubois, his style is one of my trickiest. So yeah, it gels. It gels well. Johnny Nelson captures the heart of the Dubois problem. When tested, his tools and confidence vanish quickly by saying everything was taken away. Nelson paints the picture of a fighter stripped bare under pressure. For an opponent like Moses, this breakdown is golden information. It means that once Dubois is forced onto the back foot, his strengths don't just fade, they collapse completely. Nelson's words also highlight the mental side of the sport. Sitting in the corner by round 5, already feeling beaten, shows fragility that a hungry contender can exploit. In today's heavyweight game, being strong for a few rounds isn't enough. Stamina, belief, and adaptability matter most. Nelson is warning fans that while Dubois has power, his ability to adjust and stay composed is still in serious doubt.
It's literally styles makes fights, doesn't it? Yeah. And I think Dubois, his style is one of my trickiest. So yeah, it gels well.
Adam Smith brings a calm, balanced voice into the debate. He rates Moses highly, suggesting he could beat most heavyweights today, but also stresses patience, a reminder that development matters as much as height. By putting Usyk and Dubois in exceptions, Smith both elevates Moses and protects him from premature expectations. Yet, his words also create intrigue. If Dubois is one of the names holding Moses back, it frames their potential clash as a proving ground. Either Dubois keeps his place in the top tier, or Moses shows he belongs already. Smith's perspective keeps excitement grounded, but also acknowledges the buzz. Fans are watching Moses with serious intent. His comments underline how rare it is for a 19-year-old to even be in this conversation. Proof of the pressure Dubois would face if they collide.
What he did to Daniel, it took away everything, all his attributes. He took away his jab, took away his power, took away his movement, took away his confidence, to the point where Daniel was putting his backside on the floor thinking, wow, we're all...
Hearn then adds his promoter's insight on whether a Dubois-Moses fight makes sense right now. Eddie Hearn's words reflect the business side of the sport. He recognizes Moses' potential, but makes it clear that timing is everything. At just 20 years old, even a supremely gifted fighter needs careful handling, and Hearn points to Frank Warren's strategy as evidence that the team knows it. His surprise at the idea of Moses taking on Dubois so soon is telling. Promoters understand that one big fight can make or break momentum. For Dubois, this works both ways. He's established enough to be a measuring stick, but also vulnerable enough that losing to a teenager would be career-damaging. Hearn's view underlines the tension. Fans want to see big matchups, but promoters weigh risk versus reward. It's a subtle reminder that boxing is as much about timing and management as it is about raw talent.
I think he could beat most heavyweights in the world, with the exception possibly of Usyk and maybe Dubois, possibly edging of the top 3 or 4. He's not ready for them yet.
Daniel Dubois speaks with ambition, talking about titles, belts, and even Moses as a possible future opponent. His words sound confident, but underneath lies pressure. Mentioning Moses by name shows that the young contender has already forced his way into Dubois' thinking, something rare for an untested 19-year-old. Dubois frames his path around opportunities, but fans will remember the questions about his ability to handle adversity. Against a fearless prospect like Moses, ambition alone won't be enough. Dubois must prove that he can not only win but dominate convincingly. Otherwise, his talk of becoming a 2-time champion risks being seen as empty. His statement is a reminder that in boxing, reputation is fragile. Every name you mention becomes a target, and Moses will be hungry to turn those words into a real challenge sooner rather than later.
Or he might knock him out, I don't know. But personally, at 20, you got to get it right. And Frank, like I said, Frank knows what he's doing. And I think I'd be very surprised if they took that kind of test.
Derek Chizora's blunt statement slices through all the noise around hype and matchmaking. When a veteran who shared the ring with world champions says, "You have more chance of winning the lottery than beating Moses," it's not a throwaway line. It's a measure of respect for a young fighter's ability and preparation. Chizora's comment also speaks to experience. He knows what it's like to face someone trained at the highest level, and he recognizes the subtle differences between talent and complete readiness. For Dubois, this is more than casual talk. It signals that insiders, even battle-hardened heavyweights, are starting to view him as the one with something to prove rather than the favorite. Chizora reinforces the idea that Moses' rise is calculated, supported by elite coaching and sharp matchmaking. While Dubois risks appearing like the established name who may be overtaken for fans, it's a reminder that pedigree and preparation can outweigh age or reputation, especially in heavyweight boxing.
We're going to go in for this next step.
Who is next? Is Moses Itauma on the horizon?
All the guys in the heavyweight division, yeah, they're all the guy, especially the one who has the belts, and if the belts fragment or whatever, stuff like that can happen. Whatever way I can become 2-time heavyweight champion, that's where I'm going.
Peter Fury's words are important because they balance excitement with realism. He praises Moses' speed, power, toughness, and attitude. Everything you'd want to see in a future heavyweight star, but adds the crucial reminder that we still haven't seen him under extreme pressure. This is the kind of perspective fans need. Understanding that dominating lesser opponents is one thing. Adapting when faced with a dangerous seasoned fighter is another. Peter's remark that it's early days also serves to protect Moses from being overhyped, which is smart given how quickly public opinion can shift. Yet, at the same time, his acknowledgement that Moses ticks all the boxes frames the 19-year-old as a serious threat, especially to fighters like Dubois, who have already shown vulnerability. This mixture of respect and caution builds intrigue rather than deflating it. It tells viewers that a clash between Moses and Dubois wouldn't just be a test for the youngster. It could also reveal how much fight Dubois truly has left.
Boxing a guy who's 24 years old, who's got his faculties right, getting trained by one of the best trainers in the United Kingdom, and then mate, it's like you got more chance of winning the lottery than you beating that Moses Itauma. Let's be honest about it.
Adam Smith frames the entire debate around timing. Is Moses' potential clash with Dubois too soon or perfectly timed? His praise is unambiguous. Attitude, style, southpaw stance, heavy hands, smooth movement, all traits of a top-tier heavyweight in the making. But his closing question about timing is what makes this commentary stand out. For Moses, beating Dubois now could catapult him into genuine world-level status before his 20th birthday, rewriting the rules on how fast a heavyweight can rise. For Dubois, this would be a career-saving opportunity to halt a young contender's momentum and reclaim some lost aura. Smith's analysis shows that this fight is not just about two names on a poster, but about shifting power in the division. It's the classic crossroads bout, youth and hunger against experience and redemption. That's why Smith calls it interesting. It's a test of skill, timing, and mental strength that could define both men's next 5 years.
Moses Itauma, who looks absolutely extraordinary, and for me, he ticks all the boxes. I like his attitude, I like his style, southpaw, hard-hitting, moves so well. He's going to be very, very difficult to sort of deter. So it's an interesting one because, yeah, is this too soon for Moses, or is this just the right fight